Hey there. You know, every great structure, whether it's a massive skyscraper or just a really well-written sentence, it all comes down to a solid foundation. Today, we're going to dig into the foundation of the English language. It's a question you might not think about much, but how do we do it? How do we take all these separate individual words and string them together to tell a story or share an idea or make someone feel something? Well, it turns out there's a surprisingly elegant system behind the whole thing. And believe it or not, that entire system, the whole blueprint for the English language, is built on just eight fundamental building blocks. That is it. Just 8 parts of speech that do all the heavy lifting. So, you ready? Let's meet them. All right, first things first, we have to start with the absolute essentials. Think of these two as the foundation and the load-bearing walls of our sentence. You pretty much can't have a sentence without them. So, pillar number 1 is the noun. The noun is our subject. It's the who or the what a sentence is all about. It could be a person, like a chef, a place, like Paris, a tangible thing, like a bicycle, or even a big idea, like justice. Okay, let's start building our sentence. Our first block is a noun, the cat. Cool, we have our subject, but it's not really doing anything, is it? It's just kind of there. To bring it to life, we need our second core pillar. And that's where the verb comes in. The verb is the engine of the sentence. It's the action word. It tells us what's happening, like jumps or thinks, or it can describe a state of being, like in the sentence, they are tired. So let's add our verb to our noun. The cat sat. And boom. Just like that, with only 2 words, we have a complete thought. This is it. This is the most basic, fundamental sentence you can possibly make. Now that we've got our basic structure up, it's time to have some fun and make it more interesting. This is where we start decorating, adding all the details and color that make language come alive. Let's start with adjectives. If nouns are the walls, then adjectives are the paint you put on them. They give us more information about the noun. Is it a fast car, a quiet library, a delicious meal? Let's go ahead and add one to our sentence. Now, it's not just any cat, it's the clever cat. See how that one little word instantly paints a clearer picture in her head? That's what adjectives do. Okay, next up, we've got adverbs. Now, this is important. If adjectives modify the noun, the thing, adverbs modify the verb, the action. They usually tell us how or when or where that action is happening. So, how did our clever cat sit? Slowly. Now our sentence has another layer of detail. We can really picture it now. We don't just see the cat, we see the way it sat down. This slide lays it out perfectly. It can be easy to mix these two up, but this makes it super clear. The adjective describes the noun, the red car. The adverb describes the verb, he walked slowly. One describes the thing, the other describes the action. Simple as that. Okay, so we've got our core pieces, we've got our descriptive details, but how do we link everything together? How do we build bigger, more complex structures? Well, that's where our connectors come in. First, we have prepositions. These are awesome little words that show relationships, especially relationships in time and space. We're talking about words like on, under, through, before, after. They really help place our nouns in the world. And with the preposition, our scene is finally complete. Where did the clever cat sit so slowly? On the mat. That little word on connects the action to a specific location. Our simple 2-word sentence is now a full, rich image. Our other major connector is the conjunction. Think of these as the bridges of language. They're words like and, but, so, and or, and they let us link things together. We can link 2 words like salt and pepper, or we can link 2 whole sentences to build a much bigger idea. We are almost there. We've got our last 2 pillars. Now, these guys aren't always structurally necessary, but they add some serious efficiency and, honestly, a really human touch to our language. First up, the pronoun. I mean, just imagine having to say, Maria went to the store and Maria bought some milk. It sounds clunky, right? Well, pronouns are the elegant fix. They're little stand-in words like he, she, it, and they that keep us from sounding like a broken record. And it's just so much smoother. Instead of repeating Maria, we just swap it out and say, she went to the store. It makes our writing and our speech flow so much better. And last but not least, we have the interjection. This is probably the most fun one. These are just short bursts of emotion that we toss into our sentences. Exactly. Words like wow or oops or hey, they're not really grammatically tied to anything else. They're just pure, raw expressions of feeling that give our language a ton of personality. So let's zoom out and look at the whole toolkit. Here they are, our 8 pillars, each with one clear, simple job. Nouns, name things. Verbs, give action. Adjectives, describe. Adverbs, modify. Prepositions, show relationships. Conjunctions, connect. Pronouns, replace. And interjections, exclaim. That's it. That is a whole shebang. And that's really the most important thing to remember. These 8 pillars, they aren't just a boring set of rules you have to memorize for a test. They're a toolkit. They're your building blocks for creating and communicating absolutely anything you can think of. So now that you have the blueprint, the only question is, what are you going to build?